Good morning, winners. Welcome to Terry's Tips. So guys, today we're going to talk about 3 methods to delete late payments from your credit report. Yes, go get a notebook and go get a pen, okay? And guys, we're in 2021. This is where a ton of people have been impacted by COVID-19, by what's going on in society. So late payments and new derogatory information is killing your credit. And please understand that having good credit can make you tens of thousands of dollars. It can save you tens of thousands of dollars, guys. So it's super important, okay? And if you are one of my newbies, welcome. My name is Terry. I am a self-employed entrepreneur, mother, investor, YouTuber, personal and business credit guru with over 20 years of experience. I used to work for TransUnion. And guys, I upload brand new videos every Tuesday and Thursday morning. I would love for you to be part of our Terry's Tips community, guys. And I'll do my nugget at the end. So let's jump right in. So guys, write this down. There are 5 categories that go into your FICO credit score. And the biggest bucket, payment history, is 35%. So if you have credit challenges, this is one of the areas you want to focus for aggressively. Focus in this area aggressively, guys. Who else is this video for? This video is for people who have challenged credit, damaged credit, rebuilding credit, brand new credit. This is where if your credit score is 720 or under, literally every single point counts, okay? So even getting one late payment removed or one item removed can help your credit tremendously. I also want you to understand that there are 4 types of late payments, guys. So there's 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days late, and 120 days late. And this is where obviously the more derogatory, the longer it's been, the more it's actually hurting your credit report. So a 120-day late is going to hurt you more than a 30-day late. And guys, this is where usually after 120 days, they'll actually charge off the account or send it to collections, okay? This is also where I want you to understand that late payments can be reported for 7 years, guys. Yes, y'all, 7 years. Like one late payment can sometimes drop your score up to 50 to 100 points. So we're going to get it together, okay? So let's jump right in. So first, the first method is if you have an open account with the company, an open account, okay? And this is where you can negotiate a deletion for auto pay. Write that down, an auto pay negotiation. What this means is that, and it works best, let's say you have a credit card, you've had it for at least 2 or 3 years, the account for at least 2 or 3 years, guys, and maybe you only have like 1 late payment, maybe 2 at the most, This is where you can pick up the phone and call the company directly. You're working with the company directly, guys, and you are explaining that you've been a long-time customer, you value the business relationship, and that, you had a financial hardship, whatever it was, guys. Kind of evoking emotion is the best way to get a result. So explain what happened. Was it medical? Was it financial? Was it COVID-19? Was it a layoff? Was it a divorce? What happened? And explain that you've had the account for a long time, and also make sure that before you're picking up the phone, you've brought the account current and had at least 3 to 6 months of on-time payments since then before you're reaching out to them directly. And say, listen, I've always paid on time. I would like for this late payment to be removed. It's not a reflection of my true credit worthiness. And I'm willing to put the account on auto pay to ensure it never, ever happens again. Guys, this method actually works very well. Now, if you've had 15 late payments, obviously this first method is not going to work. With 1 late payment, maybe 2, this actually works really well. It's a win-win, meaning the company, they actually have, a guarantee now. They kind of have, more security that the account will never be late again because you're going on auto pay. And it's a win-win for you guys because you got a late payment removed, and also because you don't have to worry about being late ever again. You have to worry about remembering to pay that bill. It's going to come auto pay out of your account. And this is where you have to worry about having late fees and extra interest because you've paid an item late. So method number 1, on an open account, guys, that's when this works directly. When they have closed the account, they are much likely to work with you. They're actually not going to work with you because they have no incentive to work with you. So open account, 2 to 3 years or longer, bring it current, at least 3 to 6 months of on-time payments after that, and then speaking to the company directly to negotiate a deletion for auto pay. Method number 1, guys, okay? Method number 2, this is a goodwill letter, okay? Write that down. Now, there's a bunch of information out there about goodwill letters, guys. They still work very, very well. What I'm finding is if people are not writing them the right way, or it's not the right scenario, and that's why they're not getting the best result. So what is a goodwill letter? This is where you reach out to the company directly. So you're still working with the company. And the other things for the negotiating an auto pay actually are still in play here. You're going to get a better result if you've had the account at least 2 to 3 years or more. You want to make sure you've bought it current. If it's a credit card, bring it current at least 3 to 6 months and have the utilization be very, very low. And you're putting a letter in writing to them, asking them to remove the late payment. Again, it works best if you've only had 1 late payment, 2, 3 is a stretch, guys, but at least 1 or 2. If you had like 15 something late payments, then there's a third method that we're going to talk about. But for the goodwill letter, you only want to have like 1 or 2 late payments in writing. And this is where, again, talk about how long you've had the account, make sure it's current, explain that you're a loyal customer, you love the business relationship, evoke emotion, okay? What happened? How is this late payment impacting you? And guys, I do not use form letters or templates. I want you to know the principles of the goodwill letter and construct your own letter. You will get a better result when everything is customized, okay? And guys, this is where when you send the letter off, I've had people do 1 letter, 2 letters, 3 letters where it's been maybe a no, and the 4th time it's a yes. So write the letter, wait for a reply. If you don't get your desired result, maybe pay another month on time, make sure it's low utilization again, and write another letter, okay? You can do this multiple times. This is where if a late payment can be reported for 7 years and it takes you 6 months of consistent work, it's worth it, okay? Because you got a late payment off in 6 months as opposed to waiting 6.5 more years for it to damage your credit. I also want you to understand that the date of delinquency matters. So this is where for a lot of the bigger money, a lot of for real estate and financing, you guys know I'm heavily into real estate, then they rate the last 24 months of your payment history more heavily. Remember that, write that down. So the more recent the late payment, the more it's hurting your credit report. Any late payments in the last 6 months is killing your credit score, guys. So this is where wait a little bit of time, pay it on time for 6 to 12 months, and then try to do the goodwill letter. Guys, if you have a late payment on an account that you've only had for maybe 6 months or a year, they're much less likely to work with you. So be strategic, pay it on time for another 6 to 12 months, and then try to do the goodwill letter so you can establish a positive payment history and a good business relationship. Practice patience. This is where doing it the right way will yield you a much better result. And this is also another method is that you can actually reach out to multiple offices for that company. So say you have a late payment on Chase, you can use 1 address for customer service, 1 corporate address, 1 dispute address. So if you send it to 1 address and you don't get the desired result, you can sometimes use different addresses to actually write this goodwill letter. This is where you're almost kind of seeing who gets the letter, right? Whose desk does it fall on, and seeing if somebody will work with you, guys. The method works. What I'm finding is that people have 5 and 6 late payments they're asking for removals, or they've only had the account 3 or 6 months and they're asking for removals, or they send it to 1 address and they just give up. So the combination of bringing it current, having it a long time, using multiple addresses, being persistent, having a letter that is not a form letter or template, but you actually customize it so that you are serious and really outlining your situation, gets you a better result, okay? So method number 2, goodwill letter. It not only works for an open account. Got it good, y'all. Method number 3. So if you have an account and it is now closed, you're not going to negotiate an auto pay. You're not going to do a goodwill letter. You can do a dispute with the credit bureau directly. The dispute process is where you are writing a letter to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, the 3 national credit bureaus. Guys, do not do your disputes over the phone. This is where they can ask you questions. You can sometimes say things that are incriminating or untrue, and you never want that scenario. I also do not recommend doing your disputes online. This is where when you do disputes online, first of all the options are not even available. It's a very low-level dispute, guys. You get what you put into it. That quick fix, that online click is exactly the mediocre result you're going to get. So take this seriously. This is where, it can be more tedious doing the dispute process in writing, but it yields you a better result. Put some time and effort into it. And when you're doing a dispute with the credit bureau directly, this is where it can be a closed account. It can have multiple late payments. It's a validation process. When you dispute with the credit bureau directly, they will reach out to the companies to verify the information. And if the companies either cannot verify the information, do not respond at all, or do not respond in time, if any of those scenarios take place, then the item will be deleted from your credit report. The dispute process takes 30 days. So allow like 45 days or so to send your letters and for the results to come back. Another tip is make sure you have a current copy of your credit report, guys. This is critical. I do not recommend using Credit Karma. Credit Karma just gives you a snapshot of information, and when you're disputing information, you want all of the account information, okay? So do not use Credit Karma, especially for the dispute process, because that copy and that report will not give you all the details you need to do an effective dispute. I recommend annualcreditreport.com, okay? This is where that copy is super detailed. It has everything the credit bureaus have in their files for you. It will not have a score, and I'm okay with that because for this process, for the dispute process, you're looking at the account information. Now, disclaimer, you're not technically supposed to be disputing valid negative items. This is where nobody, and I'm giving y'all game, nobody, no credit repair place, no person, nobody can 100% guarantee that a valid negative debt can be removed. However, like there's all kinds of stats that like 85% of credit reports have some kind of error. So this is where like, honestly, I just spoke to somebody yesterday where he had a mortgage account and on Equifax it showed 3 late payments. On TransUnion it only showed 2. That's inaccurate information, guys. And so whenever you think something is inaccurate, unfair, can't be validated, outdated, you can exercise your rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act and dispute the item, okay? So pull your reports, know exactly what's on your reports. Inaccuracy can be not just the late payments, but it can be the date. It can be the limits. It can be the amounts. It can be when it was closed. It could be the number of late. So saying you were late 3 times, you think 2. They are saying you're late 90 days, you think you were only late 30 days, okay? So don't just say never late, not mine. That's not a valid dispute. That's not a very high level dispute. Go into some detail about what is wrong with the account. That makes it a little bit harder for them to verify, okay? And you'll write the letter, send it to the credit bureaus directly. Guys, I do not, same thing with the goodwill letter, I do not use form letters or templates. If they have 1 million people sending in the very same letter, it is a dispute, but it's a lower level. It's a very kind of blanket, easy way to do it. Use the form letters and templates as a guide and write your own letter. That is critical, guys. I get a way better result for my clients because I customize everything and I show my clients how to customize everything. When you're writing your letter, make sure you include your name, address, social, date of birth, 2 forms of ID to show it's a valid dispute coming from you, the consumer, and not some credit repair place, okay? And also make sure you go over your personal information and do a sweep of your personal information first, when you only want to have your current name and your current address on your report. Any inaccurate, outdated phone numbers, previous addresses, employment information, AKAs, ask them to remove all that information. You can do it in your dispute letter at one time, okay? This is where the less information on your credit report, the less the companies have to verify. And another tip is that you can freeze your reports with LexisNexis, Innovis, and SageStream first. Let me say it again. LexisNexis, Innovis, and SageStream. These are data furnishers that kind of help verify information. So if you freeze your reports with them first, wait 30 days, and then do your dispute letters, you will have a much better likelihood that an item can be removed. If all of that, you've done all those things, it's a valid late payment, it has not been removed, then you want to switch to kind of looking at other areas of your report to improve your score and adding positive payment history. The best 2 ways to add positive payment history quickly is to use credit builder accounts with revolving and installment. They're in my link tree. I have them where they're soft inquiries. They report to all 3 bureaus, and also using maybe an authorized user account. Not buying a trade line, but actually having a friend or family member or spouse who has a positive account that's revolving, more than 2 years, no late payments, low utilization, and adding it. But you still want to do your own positive payment history first. So do them both. Don't just try to add an authorized account and think that that's going to fix everything. That's going to help give you a boost, but you want to have your own positive payment history first, okay? A better result. Got it good, y'all. So we talked about negotiating a deletion for auto pay. We talked about a goodwill letter. We talked about the dispute process. And guys, for my nugget, guys, you cannot have faith and fear in the same space, guys. Choose faith. This is where so many people want to start a business. They want to be first-time home buyers. They want to be self-employed entrepreneurs. You are stepping outside the box to do whatever it was you want to be. You want to be a singer. You want to get married, whatever it is. but that fear comes in. And so many people say, well, I'm not scared. But when I talk to people one-on-one is, what if nobody buys this? What if I don't have enough money? What if I'm not able to pay my bills? What if nobody supports me? All that what if is fear, guys. You have to believe it's going to happen. You have to know it's going to happen. You have to know that you deserve for it to happen. So pick one. Like, we're going to talk real today. It's either going to be faith or it's going to be fear. And if you want that thing, you have to believe it first, because if you don't believe it, nobody else will, okay? Remember, there's power of life and death in your tongue. You speak that thing into existence, you believe it, and then you watch it manifest. You cannot have faith and fear in the same space. Choose faith, okay? So I hope that was helpful for you. Like, share, comment, and have a super amazing day on purpose.